Well, the wind is blowing, it's going to freeze tonight, and hopefully you're warm and inside and not outside because it is cold. Hey, how's it going? This is Bobby. And even though it's cold today, it's going to warm up next day or two, and crazy Texas weather. If you've been in Texas, you understand what that is. But I kind of wanted just to talk about today, of being in a pit, being in a valley. We've talked about those. And I was reminded a little bit of it thinking about the Oscars yesterday and how, out of the nominations, especially the Best Actor, Best Actress, there are 5 who were nominated and only 1 is going to win. So the others are like, oh, man. And so they have to put on the cool face and oh, wow, congratulations, and I really wonder, what are they really thinking? Are they like, oh, I can't believe they gave it to that person. Oh, they're no good. I'm so much better than they are. I don't know, but they got to be professional, and more times than not they are. But, it's got to be tough. It's got to be tough expecting something or maybe hoping something and it doesn't happen. You're looking forward to something. I know a lot of people had Michael Keaton winning Best Actor, and, you're expecting it, hoping it. And then the rug just kind of gets pulled up from underneath you, and you're like, what just happened? It doesn't just happen at the Oscars. I'm sure there are plenty of times in your life, I know there are in mine, when things are going on and, the rug is pulled out from under you for whatever reason, health, job, car situation, family situation, relationships, money, I don't know. But it feels like, wow, what just happened? And you feel stuck and like, man, I can't go anywhere. I don't know what to do. Overwhelmed, burdened, like you're just stuck in a pit, whether it's a pit of despair, whether it's a pit of desolation, whether it's just horrible and you don't know how to get out and you wonder, what are you going to do? May I encourage you today and recognize one, and this is probably the biggest point of the post, is that you cannot do it alone. You can't do it alone. Maybe what you did to get there, you did it alone. But you can't get out of it alone. You can't do it. We're not strong enough to do it. We can't do it. And that's a lie that the enemy likes to tell us, that, if you'll just try harder, don't tell anybody, you'll be embarrassed. Your pride will be shot. You got an ego to protect. Maybe you're, presented as this know-it-all, or you're in a position where you're supposed to know it all, and you fall. Our defense mechanisms pop up. And we like to think, well, I can't let anybody know. I have to hide it. I got to keep it a secret, because if they know, then everything else will just go to, to pot, and it won't be any good. And man, the walls will just crumble down, and everything that I work for will just go to waste, and it's not going to work. So I have to keep it a secret. I can't let anybody know. I have to try and do it by myself. I have to try harder. I have to work harder. I got to pray harder. I got to study the Bible harder. But you know what? That's about you. And if you could have gotten yourself out of the pit, then you would have done it a long time ago. The problem is we think we can do it, and we just dig deeper and deeper and deeper. Trust me, I know from personal experience, and maybe you can, nod your head a little bit and recognize that that was a place where you were at too. Addictions are like this, thinking that we can do it on our own. We can't do it. And God didn't make us to do it on our own. He didn't create us just so that we could be an island unto ourselves, or we could go off and do things by ourselves. We were created for fellowship, first with God, then with other people around us. So when you find yourself in that muck, in that mire, in that hole, in that pit, and you feel like you can't get out, it's like quicksand, like you just stepped in quicksand and you don't know what to do. Let me encourage you. The first thing to do is to recognize that you cannot do it on your own. And then go to the one who is big enough, who created you, who knows you. Call out to him and let him help you. And as you do that, reach out to somebody you can trust and let them know what's going on. Because there's an old saying, if nothing changes, then nothing changes. And to me, it only makes sense if we'll reach out to the one who's big enough, strong enough, more than able, longs to help you get out of that pit, get out of that hole, get out of that funk, just to get out. God is able. He's big enough to do that. And the songs that we're using kind of describe that, because God is big enough. Great is our God. Great is your God. Great are you, Lord. That's what all sons and daughters sing about. We're going to follow that up with Chris Tomlinson. How can I keep from singing? Because once we've been in that pit, and God is the one that has helped us get out of that pit, as well as others we trust who encourage us. And listen, just when you tell somebody, doesn't mean that they're going to agree with you. But if they love you, they're going to be honest with you. And if they love you, they're not going to like what you've done or what you did, but they're going to be there for you and with you. Trust me, I have had those people in my life, and I still have those people in my life. And when you get out of that pit, there's no better thing to do than to simply sing about God's goodness, about His grace, and about His mercy, and about His love. And really, that's what these posts are about. That's what this whole month is about. Loving God for who He is, what He's done, and what He longs to be in your life. The verse we're going to use, it comes from Psalm 40, verses 2 and 3. He lifted me out of the pit of despair, out of the mud and the mire. He set my feet on solid ground and steadied me as He walked along. And He has given me a new song to sing, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see what He has done and be amazed, and they will put their trust in our God. And really, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Acknowledging God and who He is, so that we can tell of His goodness and of His grace, and others will be able to see just how good our God is. That's something to be excited about. That's something to give Him praise about. To know where we were and where He's brought us from and where He's taken us to. Man, that's awesome. That gets me going. So I hope tonight that you'll recognize that, one, you don't have to stay in that pit. That there are people who want to help you get out of that pit. And that you can cry out to God. And you can cry out to them. And together, you'll get out of that pit. And you'll be put on solid ground, so that others can see how good our God is. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.